Hey everybody, we're going to get started about 3 minutes from now. So welcome and hang tight. Okay, once again, welcome everybody, and about 2 minutes to start time. All right, well, welcome everybody. We're back in the saddle for Stock Analysis Friday. It's great to be here, and we're going to take a look at a lot of stocks today, and of course, those are stocks that you want to look at. So the idea, once again, behind Stock Analysis Friday is for you to bring a few stocks each and every week, and we'll take a look at them. We'll give you a second opinion, and what's great is we usually can uncover a couple that are good for the group as well. So a lot of fun. So go ahead and start typing in the comments area the stocks or ETFs you want me to look at. And please do those in caps because that's easier for me to see, of course. And before we get started, I'm just going to go through a few administrational items. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, first thing I have to go over, of course, is the risk disclaimer. And we want you to know there are risks involved in short-term trading in the markets, but also investing too. And that's why we always want you to trade with money you can afford to risk, called risk capital. Also check with your money manager, financial advisor, and be sure that all the stocks we look at today or suggestions are appropriate for you because we don't know your personal situation and they do. So always run everything by them before actually executing with real money. And then finally, too, please use risk control on each and every trade. And if you need help with this, let us know because we're experts in this area. And I've got quite a few books that can help you with that. And the one I suggest is our newest one called Money Management for Traders on the far right-hand side. And I wrote this book purposely to keep what you need to know sweet, short, and simple. All right. It's basically everything you need to know to implement a good, solid risk control and money management program into your trading. So check that out. We have an Amazon page. I'll put the link in the YouTube write-up on the recording, but definitely check that out because that's going to help you a lot. If you want a deeper dive, check out our book on the far left called A Trader's Money Management System. That's the white colored book. That goes into a deeper dive on risk control. And then we have The Art of Trading, and we're coming out with our new edition in the spring of next year. And we're working with Wiley to get that all finalized and and out. And it's going to be a great new book. That book currently is, I think, dated 2008. So it is time for a second edition. And then we got the Survival Guide for Traders. And that's a great book on how to run your trading business like a professional hedge fund. So check that out. A lot of good reference material in there. And then my Elliott Wave Technique Simplified, of course, is all about the Elliott Wave. So you're into that. That's a great book for you as well. So check those out on Amazon. You'll like those. And of course, here's our software page. And we have a lot of software. So we have charting software, we have scanning software, and we have risk control software. So definitely check all that out. And finally, please like, subscribe, and share. All right. The more people we can get coming here on Fridays, the better. So, tell your friends and everybody and get them over here. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. There's a couple things I'm going to cover. Go ahead and type your stocks in now. But while you're doing that, I do have a couple markets I want to talk about. First one I want to talk about is the symbol TLT. And of course, this is the ETF for bonds. And I think we got a little bit lower to go on this, but I think it's getting close to a target range. I'm thinking around 91 to about 73 on this. So I think everybody should put this on their radar screen, so to speak, and keep an eye on it. Put it on your watch list. And when it bottoms here, I think it's going to be the buy of a lifetime. All right, I think that's going to be an excellent situation. I think with the Fed increasing rates, they haven't increased them enough, and bonds are still selling off. So we have some more rate increases in the future. I'm pretty sure of that. And I think that will eventually get a hold of inflation. I think it's going to be probably sometime in 2023, maybe. But I think the buy will be tremendous. So we're going to look at this each and every week until this thing, it looks like a go. Do not buy it now. It's still coming down. But I just wanted to make you aware of that. As stocks tumble, and we think they're going to tumble incredibly a lot further, all right, especially in 2023, we do think this will be something that can help protect you because that should start going up at some point in 2023. So keep that in mind. All right, next one I have to look at is silver. Everybody always asks me about silver. So let's take a look at silver. And with the indicators we use, we have a couple different indicators. And also, too, if you're new here, notice I have 3 charts of the same symbol. So this is silver, this is silver, and this is silver. This is the short-term 60-minute time frame over here of silver. This is the daily chart of silver. And this is the weekly chart or long-term look on silver. So think of these 3 charts as short-term on the left, intermediate on the middle, and long-term on the right. And I do this for timing purposes. And then we apply our software, which are all these triangles and indicators at the bottom, to basically make our trading decisions. We call that basically connecting the dots when we look at them. All right, so check this out. We've got a red PTF. This indicator has a 75% accuracy. It's not 100%, but when it's red, it's indicating the market is still poised to make another low. So I'm thinking that's probably going to happen. Short term, we've got a green one, so we may pop back up before doing that, but I would not be a buyer here. So if you're thinking about silver, all right, hold off a little while, okay? Wait for this thing to bottom because it really hasn't done that yet. Same thing with gold. I want to take a look at gold because gold is another market that people are anxious to get into. And it's getting close to a bottom, but it's not there yet, okay? So I cannot generate a buy signal on this as well. We've got a red pyramids all over the place. That's these triangles here, okay, and these here. And we've got red here, and as you can see, quite a bit of red. So not quite a buy yet, but when it is, the PTF on the long-term chart says we should make new highs. So I'm liking that eventually, but again, not yet. And then finally, I want to take a look at our GBTC, which is our crypto ETF. Now, I know there's a lot of negativity out there on crypto. People are kind of saying, avoid it. It's a scam. I hear a lot of different stories. But let's look at it just purely from a technical standpoint. We've come all the way up in the 50s, almost 60, and then all the way down to about $11 right now, 11 and a quarter. So what do you do with this thing? Well, hopefully you're still not in it if you got into it at 60, because you certainly had many opportunities to get out based on any software tools I would think you would use. But what do you do now? All right. Well, it looks to me like we may be close to a bottom on this thing, if not near one now. So this is your classic, when a market moves down like this is a classic bottoming effect. And it may trickle down a little further because I think it's doing that now. All right. This is green. All right. This is still red. This is still red. This is still red. So it's not quite a buy yet, but kind of getting close. So I wouldn't write it off necessarily. And maybe this will go up when the market sells off. All right. But the stock market, that is, people will look for something else to put their money into. And GBTC may be an alternate investment they may think about. But for right now, don't buy it. But let's keep an eye on it, and let's not write it off, but we will keep an eye on it, okay? All right, so those are the ones I wanted to cover mainly. The last thing I wanted to do is take a quick look at the stocks here on the Dow here. Of course, all the indexes are selling off. So we kind of went below the low here today, didn't we? All right, look at that. That's significant. This is part of what we think is a major correction. So I am looking for a bottom on stocks between 15,000, that's right, 15,000 to 18,000 in 2023. And I think we may have begun the next significant move down since we took out this bottom. So this is A wave, this is B wave, this is C wave. I think this is going to turn red. And if it doesn't, then it could remain green the entire C wave. But I would be careful here, okay? Stocks are still significantly high. Get with your financial advisor, work out a game plan, and to protect yourself if that market gets down to those levels we think it's going to get down to. So a lot of great shorting opportunities. And when it's at the bottom by the end of next year, I think you're going to have some great buying opportunities as well. So just a little food for thought there. All right, let's take a look and see what everybody wants to look at. Hopefully I can start here. All right, let's say, Samuel, how are you? SQQQ, one of my favorite inverse ETFs. It's a 3-timer on the overall market. I do think this is looking pretty good here, Samuel. I think, we are looking at this as well. We have a more report. We've recommended this quite a while ago. And notice that these bottoms here now seem to be holding. So if we believe stocks are going to go down, and especially the NASDAQ as well, all indexes are going to get hit by this sell-off. But this will do well. So there's no reason, I think, not to be in this. If you want to try to time this a little bit better, all right, then let's go way over here. Everything is looking really good. I think it's a go. You got green here. You have a little bit of green there, green here, a little red here, but that's because this is kind of the long-term look. This is, the long-term charts are kind of like an aircraft carrier. They're slow. They're the last ship to actually change. So you kind of want to take a look at this, make sure these lower time frames are good. And if you notice, look at the momentum down here back in 2021, a year ago in the summer, over a year ago, and look at it now. So this is definitely an improvement in the move down, swinging up. So I'm liking this. So what do you think? Put this on a possible buy list? I don't think it's too late. You're getting in extremely early. So let's put SQQQ as a good stock pick for this week. What do you think? All right. Now, the next one to look at is SPXU. Let's take a look at this bad boy. And Samuel, this is again for you. And very similar situation, isn't it? The only difference is of course, the S&P, right? So this is another one, I think. Let's make sure we have no red in our indicators. And guess what? It's looking good. Very similar to the SQQQ. So I would go with this. Now, I'm thinking if we get down to those levels, I would look at this, both the SQQQ and the SPXU as long-term holds until we get to that target zone. So until we get down to about 18,000, I would try to hold these babies. All right. So SPXU, all right, has quite a lot of room to move. So if you can, you want to put your stop and leave it as low as possible until you start getting significant profit. How do you define significant profit? Come here every Friday, and I'll let you know when I think you should take a little shares off the table and the scaling out or keep it in. All right, the tools help us tell us that. If you can, you want to put your stop below this pyramid here. Okay, that should be okay. So that's around 15 bucks. Okay, so this is a good one. I'm going to put this on the list too. And I got to tell you, these are excellent for IRA accounts to take advantage of markets when they sell off in IRA accounts, or even to hedge some of your portfolio. So good ones to look at, Samuel. Thank you. All right, let's move on here. Samuel, oh boy, you're a bastion of good ones today. UPRO. All right, let's take a look at that bad boy. All right, so interesting here. Okay, a little different. All right, it's still moving down. We may have a little bit of a blip to the upside at some point, but I would not be a buyer here. Red here, red here, red here, red here. We do have some green here. So it looks like we're going to get a bounce, but with this long-term chart being red, I don't think it's a buy here, okay? So I would stay away from this, and of course, it almost looks exactly like the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So definitely stay away from that one. Short it if you want. Use one of the ETFs that we looked at. All right. Oh, USO. We got to look at USO, which is the ETF for oil. Now, here's kind of interesting thing. Oil's come down, and it looks to us like it's going to come down a little further. Okay, not quite done coming down. Notice the red on the 60-minute chart. We just have right now a red PTF. Notice here we drew in a wave 4. This is for your Elliott Wave people. Wave 4 target zone. So we're hitting a fib retracement wave 4 right now. So it can go anywhere in this range between 38.2% to 61.8%, which is going to mean anywhere from where prices are now down to $51 and some change. So still coming down. Don't buy yet, but it will be a buy at some point. If you're short, stay short. Okay, wait until this turns yellow if you're using our tools, and then dump it. Okay, because you're in the target zone. So no buy on this yet. Let's keep an eye on it, because eventually it will be a buy, and it's not too far off. All right, so that's USO. All right, Key, how are you? Key, you always ask me if we're in C wave. I think we may be now, because now we're coming down. Okay, we just reached the bottom of A wave, so I think we may be in that. All right, here's another great one. Okay, the only difference with this one is we got a red owl here. I mean, red PTF here. So this is kind of not as good as the SQQQ or the SPXU. I really probably think this will turn green. So let's hold off for a buy on this until it does. Okay, so hold back on that one. And in the meantime, you got the SPXU and the SQQQ to take advantage of the other markets just as good. All right, Dan, how are you? All right, STNG. Let's take a look at that. STNG. Give that a second to load. Okay, so we've looked at this before, as you can see, and it continues to move up. All right, we had a little correction here, and now it's moving up. So here's the deal with this bad boy, okay? It's kind of late to get long on this. If you're not already long, I don't think I would chase this market. And one of the reasons I say that is, look, you have bearish divergence in our OWL indicator, which measures momentum. So, and you've had one. Look how many pyramids in a row there has been. What has there been? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 P pyramids in a row. After 4, we get a little concerned about trend exhaustion. So no long positions here. Is it setting up for a short? It could be, because it could be correcting again. But at this particular point, you don't want to take that yet, because the owls haven't turned red yet. And you're going against a very big owl in the long-term weekly chart. So I would say no trade on this unless you're in it, okay? And tell me if you're in some of these, because that helps me tell you what to do, okay? All right, ExxonMobil, XOM. Let's take a look at that. That's another one Dan wants to look at today. Boy, it's good to be back in the saddle, right? Good to be back with Stock Analysis Friday. I love this. I love spending time with you guys and gals out there. It's great. All right, and here we go. All right, so Interesting on the Exxon Mobil. All right, so it's coming down, and you can certainly see that on the short-term chart on the far left. The 60-minute chart is showing red here, red out. No long positions. If you were long, you would have been stopped out by now on the daily charts with the pyramids here. So what do you do? Well, it looks like it's correcting. We got a green PTF, but it needs to correct first. So here's how you do this. When you have a green PTF, okay, on the longer chart, then a red one on the shorter chart, it means that short term you're going down, but after that finishes, you're going back up. All right, so I would not be long on this. I probably would not be short on this. I mean, I would not be long, still long on this. And if you're going to go short, you got to make sure you have your target in place. So where would that be? Probably a fib retracement at this point. So just simply grab your fibs here, and let's draw that from here. If I can get it all the way up there. Okay, let's try about that. So about 76 to 59, okay? So that's kind of the target, and we're at 85. So I don't know if that's going to be worth it to some people. The risk to reward's not quite there because you'd have to put your stop up high enough to get down to that area. So I'm going to let you decide what you want to do. I wouldn't take it to the short side because the risk to reward's not there. But I would maybe wait until it gets between the two blue lines, which is the target for an Elliott Wave 4, and that would be here. And then I would probably look to go long on that, okay? So that's Exxon Mobil. All right, let's keep going. CRM. I can tell it's been 2 weeks. We got a lot of symbols coming in here. We had a great summit here in San Diego. We had a lot of fun. That's our educational event, private educational event. Very great group. We try to keep it, a handful of people, and it's really a good time. And of course, we also day trade the markets one of those days to show how all the indicators work. Great time. If you guys want to learn how to trade the markets, definitely attend the next one. All right, CRM. We've got green PTF on the 60-minute chart. We've got red owl, though, and red. So what's going to happen? Well, it's still coming down. All right. Again, many pyramids in a row on the daily chart. So I think it's too late to go short. I'd wait for this thing to bottom and then look for a possible long position. So that's what I would do with this. All right, CRM. Hopefully, if you got short earlier, way up in this area here, you're in pretty good shape. All right, CRM. How about MNST? Let's take a look at that one. All right, give that a second to load on the 60. Still waiting for the 60 to load. All right, so let's take a look. While that's loading, let's take a look here at the others. And, obviously a little bit of a volatile type of movement. Notice here we got on the long-term chart. I mean, that's pretty volatile, even though if you draw a trend line, the trend is up. So this is a stock, when you see this kind of volatility, and look at it, you have to decide whether you want to make this a long-term trade or you're going to trade these little volatile swings, which is here to here. And that's, you'd have to use the pyramids for that because that's what it's designed to do. But in any case, at this particular point, we've got red here. We've got bullish divergence, maybe, nope. Yeah, bullish divergence dealing here, yep. And we've got green here. So this has been trending on the weekly chart for a long time. And notice this first move down took out a lot of support areas. It also stopped you out, okay? And so what do you do in a case like this? I wouldn't do anything with this. If anything, I'd be short at this point, but it's a messy chart. This is a hard chart to trade. So you'd be better off trading this on a 60-minute time frame where you could take advantage of these swings. So when you see swings in the market, that really would disrupt any type of orderly trade, drop it down to a lower time frame, okay? So MNST is a no-go for me. All right, Gene says SPXU from Samuel is a good one. Yes, I agree. All right. Gene says, give us a like on this page. I agree again. All right, let's keep going. Al, MCD, McDonald's. The fact that my son goes there more often than not, that stock should be doing really well. All right, so long trend up, okay. A little slower to react, kind of interesting than the Dow. I mean, kind of, you had looks a little bit like the Dow. But what's interesting here is this first move down and this move up, we never broke the high, which is consistent to what we think is happening with the Dow. Now we think she'll go down. We got a red PTF. So this may be an excellent time to short this. All right, I'm actually liking this. So where is it going to go? I think you could double your money on this. Now, I'm going to recommend this as an excellent pick for today. All right, but to the short side. Okay, so this is a short trade. Let's write that down. So this is one you can get in early enough with just past the pyramid here. All right, doesn't mean it won't bounce back up, but go ahead. You're getting in so early on the long-term chart. I love it. Put your stop at the very top. The only way you want to be stopped out is if we're wrong in our analysis, and this does not go into a major correction. But when it goes into a correction like this, you're going to see a lot of volatility like this, up and down. So you don't want to have your stop too close. So keep it high and don't move it for a while. Okay, don't be fearful. All right, if you get a big drop in this, try to stay with it because this is our target. And in order to reach your target, you really got to be lenient and slow on moving your stops because you've got to give that market enough time to breathe. And then come here every week and we'll look at it. We'll tell you, I'll tell you when I think you should move your stop. You're getting a great entry though, thanks to the daily chart. Go for it. MCD, big winner. Okay. To the short side though, to the short side. All right. Let me just see. I lost my place here. All right. Okay. Yes. Short. Good. MAR. Al is also short. Let's see if you picked another winner here. Okay. This one's a little further along, but again, not bad, Al. Not bad. Okay. So let's take a look at this one. I would look at this again as a long-term trade with a target zone on the weekly. So when I say target zone on the weekly, that means this is not a trade you're going to be in for a week, probably not even a month. You're probably looking at least probably 8 months to a year. So these are long-term shorts. This one we're getting in a little bit later than McDonald's. All right. But again, it is a valid trade to the short side. Let's see. Stop up here would be best, but this is a pyramid stop here. So either one of those gives you enough risk to reward to the target. And risk to reward basically is you take where the prices are now, take the distance to the stop, and the distance to the profit needs to be twice as great as a minimum, or we don't take the trade. All right, so that's it. So again, this is another one. If you're going to go short, all right, do the correct trade size. So if we are wrong and you get stopped out, you only lose 2% of your account value. And you can also use options. Expensive stocks, you can also use option plays. So think about that. And again, I wouldn't move your stop quickly on this. Enter, forget it. And we'll take a look at it each and every week. Okay, so good one. So I'm going to put this down as one as well, but I do like McDonald's better. Okay, out of those two. But this is a good one too. All right, so if you want a little diversification, go for it. Okay. All right, let's see what else we got. We've got NIO. NIO. Give that a second to load. All right, so we go back to about 2019 on the history on this. So, all right, this is very, very interesting. All right, look at this huge move up. I mean, huge. All right, now look what it did all the way down here. Normally, when you see a big move that's pretty vertical like that, that's usually a wave 3, or let me just say it's an impulsive wave. If the retracement is too much, then it's probably a wave 1 on a larger time frame. Okay, just saying. If the retracement meets the wave 4 requirements, then it's a 3. It's an impulsive wave of some degree when you see this. So let's draw the fibs. And I think you're going to probably see that this probably at this point retraced too much. Okay, so let's just see where that goes. And as you can see, it went way below the standard wave 4. Okay. Now, did it breach the top of wave 1? Not really. So it could technically be a wave 4, but it also could be a wave 2. So we have an alternate wave count. But the nice thing about both of those wave counts, when this correction is over, the trade is to the upside on both, whether it's a wave 3 or a wave 5. Those are both bullish impulsive waves. So whenever you get an alternate wave count, but the trade ends up in the same direction, that's okay. So what do you do on this? Well, it's not quite ready yet. I like it. I think it will be a great long trade at some point, but we have a red owl on the 60-minute, so it's still kind of pulling down. I think you might be able to get into a better price. I don't know if you can see this at home, but we just have a slightly red owl here. So I would wait on this, but put this on a watch list, okay? NIO can go on a watch list because when it finishes its correction, then at that particular point, I think it could be a good buy. This is getting very close to going green. We have no red down here. And let's see if this bottom holds. You know, it could come down a little bit more and then turn around and that bottom could hold. And if that happens, that's a big plus. All right. So I would watch this very closely. I'm going to even put this on a watch list as well. Okay. So everybody should put that on a watch list. All right. So thank you for that. That's Adam. All right. Key wants to take a look at Tesla. All right, let's take a look at Tesla and see what's going on with that. Give that a second to load, and it looks pretty good now. All right, so let's see what's cooking on Tesla. All right, so very similar to a lot of other stocks that are in correction mode right now. So my concern with this one is we have a bearish short-term chart, so no buy here. All right, no short really either because we have a green out. If you look at the long-term chart, let's open up this bad boy here, okay? Notice here that we are in a form of a correction right now. So where is this thing going to go? Let's just grab some fibs and figure out to there. So we're looking, I think we hit the target already. That's a good sign. So we're down to where it needed to be. So in terms of an Elliott wave count, if this is a 3, 4, 5, then we're in pretty good shape. I don't think this is a 3, 4, 5 because this is green. Okay. Instead, I think it's a 3, 4, okay, and then 5. So that's kind of what I'm seeing. All right, so this is a bullish situation here. And you also have a good A, B, C correction, all right? But it could go back into the target zone. Sometimes that happens. So let's wait for that 60-minute chart to change, Key. It needs to be bullish. And as you can see the push down on the daily right here. So when you see something like that, this kind of puts it under a magnifying glass over here, okay? So wait for that to stop, basically, and then we'll take a look at it again for a long trade. So let's put Tesla on a watch list as well for a possible long, okay? But not yet. Now, if you're in it already, okay, your stop is way down here if it's a long-term hold. So you should be okay. All right. Yeah, I kind of at this time for a short trade. I know you're thinking of a short trade. If you use the 60-minute chart, you see the PTF is not really giving you enough of a target because that's the lowest low in the target. And we're already in the target zone. So I kind of would hang tight with that. I think you can find better shorts. Okay. All right, hopefully that helps you. Don't tell me I'm at the end of the list. Somebody's got to have a couple more. So we looked at silver, we looked at gold, we looked at USO, we looked at the TLT bonds. I really want you to watch the TLT. Let's put that on a watch list too, because I think it's not ready for a buy yet, but I think it could be an incredible buy at some point, probably when the market sells off. All right, Frank, if you're here and you don't have one, a stock to look at today, I will be shocked. Okay. I count on you, Frank, for a couple stocks. All right. Anybody else? All right. Key plug. PLUG. I've traded that before. I have to tell you a little, I have to be honest with you folks. Some of these stocks like plug and things like that, I have no idea what they do, but I'm a momentum trader. So as long as they're trending, I just don't want to miss the trend. But a lot of these stocks, all right, I definitely don't even know. I wouldn't be an investor in most of them probably, but I trade short term. So when I trade short term, I go with the tools and I try to go with the momentum. So PLUG is one I've traded before. I can't remember for the life of me what the heck it does, but let's take a look. All right, so it's coming down still on the 60-minute chart. Okay, so it is coming down, kind of like the other one we looked at, Key. It's kind of in this move to the downside. It may have bottomed here, and this is green and this is green. So I'm thinking probably, not a bad. Let's open up that weekly chart and see what the retracement on this bad boy was. Well, look at this. I mean, if you take a look at really what's happened, all right, big move down, was a lot higher, okay, big move down, and now it hiccuped to the upside, and now it's settled, and now it's basing. But what's interesting is the PTF is green. So the high on this is way up here around 80, okay? So you take the highest high in a green PTF, and that's usually going to be your target, overall target. First target is here. Okay, so interesting. All right, so this is not bad. Got a little bit of a channeling. I don't think I would go into this until we break out of this channel and get above that pyramid there. So I'd kind of bracket that channel there like that. So I don't think I would want to keep my money in a channel. So let's wait. This is still coming down. Okay, so let's wait until that turns around and let's look at that next week. I think you got a little bit of time on this, but we'll keep bring it next week and we'll look at it again. Okay. Okay. It does EV charging stations. There you go. Okay. Thank you. All right. CVS. Let's take a look at that for Adam here. I think what trader was it? Was a Paul Tudor Jones that said, I don't really care what the stock does as long as I don't miss the trend. Am I right on that? I think he might have said that. And that's kind of the way I trade. All right. Okay. So CVS got green PTF on the daily chart. And all that it means is that there's a 75% probability it's going higher here. Now, the PTF is not going to tell you when that's going to happen, nor is it going to tell you how deep the pullback is going to occur before that happens. But it has an accuracy rate of 75%. So you kind of want to be a little bit biased to the upside when that's green. However, notice on the 60-minute chart, we've got red pyramids and a red owl. So this baby is correcting at this point. I think if it goes below here, see this blue colored triangular pyramid marking the pattern, trend trading pattern, which is a fractal in the market. If that goes away, then if it goes a little lower, it'll go away. So that might go away if prices continue down. So we may come down into an area. This may be a bottom, but we may come down a little further and then it could turn around. So let's put this one on hold for now until this, swift move down is over. And then we'll look at it as a possible long. The lower it goes, the better, because that means there's more profit opportunity to get to the top of that PTF. So the risk to reward increases with more distance between the entry and the profit. All right, so that is CVS. Thank you, Adam. All right, Frank, there you go. Okay, QDEL. You are short. Let's take a look at QDEL. All right. Don't know where you got in, but if you're short, you're probably making some money on this. All right. Now, here's the way I would play this. we're probably getting close to a significant bottom. Notice the bullish divergence here in the owl. And notice the PTF is green too. So eventually this baby's going to turn around and head back up. And we have, it looks like bullish divergence here. All right, but we have a lot of red here. Here's what I would play with this. I think you're getting close to a bottom. So if you have our tools, wait for this to turn yellow. When this turns yellow, I'd cover a lot of your position. I mean, you can keep your stop here, but when that turns yellow, you're getting close to a bottom, okay? So I would think about covering when that happens, okay? But hopefully you're doing, I don't know where you got in, but hopefully you're making some money on that. You got in a while ago. All right, John, Amazon. I got to tell you, in our area, okay, I see all these Amazon trucks running around. It's an incredible company, okay? Amazing. All right, let's see what's going on. I put that in there. Give it a second to load. Frank, the target would be for me, whenever the PTF turns yellow, okay? Oh, I think I typed that in wrong. Yep, I did. AMZN. I had an extra A in there, so let's retype that. Frank, if you don't have our tools, you need to get them, or else you're trading in the blind. Okay, so let's take a look at Amazon. Red PTF on the weekly chart, right? So, you know, basically it looks like it's going below 100 at some point. Is it going to do it now? Well, we've got red here, red here. I would be short this possibly on this pyramid, and I'll tell you why. If we're going down one more leg, that means that we probably have an extension we can draw somewhere along these lines here. So now we're getting pretty close, aren't we, to a short-term target. It's too late to go short, okay? Why do I say that? Because if we're here and our stop is here, then this is our target. Let's see if we can put the stop here. It's not much difference, okay? Well, it is a lot difference. Okay, that's probably around 118 versus 140 for the stop. So the target would be 97-ish, okay? So possibly a short trade. I'm not going to recommend it because I would have liked to have gotten in earlier. But a short trade, this is still going down, okay? That's kind of the way I would look at that. Hopefully, John, that helps you, okay? All right, let's see. Anybody getting any calls from their broker telling them now is an excellent opportunity to buy? Let me know, all right? Because that's what they do. You know, they're so used to being in a bullish market that every pullback, they call their clients and say it's an excellent time to get back in the market. In a bull market, they'll be right. But now we're in a bear market. And so they probably, this is usually where they get themselves in trouble. Let me just say that. So if they call you, take a look, get our tools and take a look at the chart, and you'll be able to know if it's a good time to buy or not. All right, well, I think that might be it for today. What do you think? Pretty cool. Market's down 494 today, okay? So that's very telling. And Frank, since you showed up late, I do think we're in C wave now. Okay, so I think we've begun the next significant move down. Should be down, I think probably, I made some notes here, probably around 50% by early next year. That's what I'm thinking. Now, just so you know, I think it's close to being a good time to get some 10 and 30-year treasuries. Don't get corporate bonds because they're not going to do good. I would do the TLT. We looked at that already. Let me just type that back in. The TLT is one right now that's not ready for a buy. It's still going down. And so you don't want to jump into this yet. It's got a little ways to go. But I think when it gets down to this target, it's a great one. The advantage of doing simply a TLT type of ETF is it's very liquid. So it's easy to buy, easy to sell, and should represent the overall bond market pretty well. So that's kind of where I think money needs to go as equities tank. And I think as equities tank, we'll get in here. I think the problem with the TLT right now is inflation. All right. that inflation's not yet under control. And so they're going to have to raise the rates again. And I think they're going to have to be pretty aggressive about it. And as soon as they start getting that, I think we'll start seeing a turnaround in the TLT. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about that. All right. So let's do the winners. All right. So I like the SQQQ. All right. Let me just type those in. Okay. SQQ is the inverse 3 times on the NASDAQ. And this is looking like a great opportunity for you to take advantage of the sell-off, which will, of course, occur in the NASDAQ. SPUX, take advantage of the S&P during the sell-off. So these are inverses, okay? And give that a second to come up. All right, taking its time. But this is another good one, and it's almost there. All right, so let's just wait for that to come up and see. Maybe I typed it in wrong. I did. Sorry. SPXU. I'm a Hen and Pecker typer, so bear with me here. All right, SPXU. There it is. So this is another good one. Okay. I think that's looking good. And then we got McDonald's. All right, this is a short. This is a nice short here. Okay. So we're liking that. And the target on this one is way down around 200 and, I'm going to say 217-ish, this low here. And then we have MAR. I don't like MAR as much as McDonald's, okay? But it ain't bad, all right? It's a little bit of a late entry. That's the problem, okay? So I would go with McDonald's. So let's just say we got those 4. But out of those 4, I think MCD, SPXU, and SQQQ are the best for this week. Sound good? All right. Anybody want to look at some day trading charts today? Let me know. What do you think? Should I run through some of our charts on a short-term time frame? I'll just do that real quickly. All right. So here's the MES. All right. And the MES, this is now I changed the time frames when I day trade. So I still use 3 time frames, but I change them. So I got the 5-minute over here on the far right. Believe it or not, that's my long-term time frame. I have the 1-minute here in the center. That's my primary. And believe it or not, 15 seconds way over here. And I got to tell you, I'm so strict in my entries and exit rules based on our software tools that sometimes it takes me a half an hour to an hour to get into a position, even on these short-term time frames. All right, so listen. So here's the deal. We've had a selling opportunity. You can see all the pyramids. We're still coming down here. 15 seconds got a red PTF, red owl, a lot of redness here. Shorting trade opportunity way back up in here. Too late now. You're in the target zone on the 5-minute. So I think we're starting to see bullish divergence. So I think we should see a bottom here and some buying coming in. An intraday buying coming in at some point in the MES, but don't buy yet, obviously. All right, so there you have that. NASDAQ, let's take a quick look at the NASDAQ on the very short time frames. Again, similar situation. We've had a buying opportunity earlier on this pyramid, but now at this particular point, getting a little too late. We have red here, but we have, we'll see if that bullish divergence remains. And again, like the E-mini, check this out. We're in the target zone, the longer term target zone, but we're still going down in it. So possibly, if you didn't get short now, I'd probably wait for a bullish bounce and maybe look at long. Let's take a look at crude oil real quick here. Okay. This was a fib left over from the other day. Let me remove that. So we've got an opportunity here. Let's see what we've got here. This isn't a bad short trade up in here. See the pyramid caught it beautifully. Okay, so you would be short at this area here, kind of like on the other markets where you would have been short on that pyramid on both the MNQ and the MES. And we'll take a quick look at gold. And gold is rallying, okay, but it's rallying against the longer term red PTF. So there's your rally point. So it should get up to about 1660. So this would have been a nice entry off here. And so there you have it. You'll probably get a little bit of a pullback that'll give you a nice opportunity to get long. So we're thinking 1665. So it should just get above here. All right. And then you kind of want to get out because you'll probably see some more movement down because the 5-minute chart has a red PTF. All right, M2K, this will be similar to all the other equities, still moving down. Again, here's your great entry point here. All right, and too late to get in now. So I would leave that one alone. And then the MYM is another one we trade. These are all futures markets, by the way. All right, so this one here, same situation. So notice how the equities are very similar this morning. That usually is the case. And sometimes, though, the MNQ differs a little bit, obviously, from the S&P, but they're all pretty similar today. So that's kind of where we're at for that. So you know what? We'll just leave it on the MES for a little bit. Now we got a red. Check this out. We have a brand new red PTF here, So if you were short this, keep it. Okay, we're in the target zone long term. So what you'd want to do here probably is when these PTFs turn yellow, I'd probably take a few contracts off the table if I was short. So if I was short like 20 contracts here or 30, I'd probably take 10 off here. Okay. And then hopefully we'll get a pyramid coming in here soon that would allow me to move my stop down. So there's a whole different types of ways we day trade the market using our software tools. And if this interests you, you should check out our day trading room. We meet Tuesdays and Thursdays and trade these time frames. All right, so I'll just leave it up here for a little bit, and I guess we'll end there. And I want to thank everybody for coming. It's great to be back, so to speak, in the saddle, and we'll be back next week as well. So have a great one, everybody, and thank you for being here. And always use risk control, and get ready for a big sell-off in the market. Now, it won't go straight down. It'll zigzag. You'll have some bullish periods. But I think next year we're looking at probably 18,000 to 15,000 on the Dow. So big move down. That may not occur, of course, until late in 2023, but I do expect the Dow to be down maybe 40 to 50% by January. So it's on its way. All right, have a good one, and we'll see you next time. I'll leave it right here on the chart, and you can check it out. Bye-bye. All right, let me just come on for one quick second. This trade actually turned out to be really, really cool because this would have been the entry here, initial stop here, trail your stop here, then here, and you have the PTF turning yellow here, neutral. So you want to scale out. And I would take either a third or a half a position off here and keep the rest on until you're scaled out. That way you're giving yourself as much opportunity for the market to go lower as possible. Yet at the same time, you're taking significant profits and your stop is ensuring a profitable trade. Textbook day trade, 1 minute time frame with the right tools. Okay, I guess I'll go ahead and end here. You guys have a good one, and we'll see you back here next Friday. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.